Foregone went into early access about a month ago, and the game is trying to position itself as kind of a side-scrolling hack and slash. And from the build that we play, the game doesn't quite get there just yet. Please keep in mind the footage you're seeing is from the early access and may not represent the current version of the game. But the story is our standard. The world has gone to the apocalypse and it's up to us to save it. And we're going to do it by single-handedly hack, slash, shoot, jump, and any other action-minded verbs you can think of. Now, the key element that tries to separate Foregone from its contemporaries, besides having some really amazing pixel art, is how loot and progression factor in. Despite the look of this game, this is not a true Metroidvania. There are upgrades that you do get, but the world itself is definitely built more on randomized loot. As you go around exploring and all the environments are handmade, you're going to find gear drops. And gear comes in various rarities and types, including like arm pieces, head, chest, shotguns, bows, daggers, heavy swords, you get the picture. And the higher quality gear has randomized attributes or passive modifiers put onto them. This could be give you more health, more damage, or synergize with abilities and powers. You can see I have 2 equipped in the upper left hand corner at the moment. And you'll earn resources that you can use to kind of power up and boost your options as you get further into the game. Like I said a minute ago, the title is handmade, or it's hard-coded. There doesn't seem to be any procedural elements in terms of world design. If you die, you return to your hub, and you can use warps to go to other areas. Most of the enemies consist of normal characters as well as elite variants, and then you fight epic bosses in specific fights. I do have to say I love the pixel aesthetic, especially for some of these larger enemies. There's a great sense of detail to them, and it kind of reminds me in some sense to something like Dead Cells, but maybe of a little bit higher quality. And as you play through the game, you'll unlock, or from what we play of the build, you'll get more gear, and you'll be able to do more in terms of the persistent elements. Every piece of gear, as you can see on the screen here, has different rarities. I think purple may either be the highest or second highest, with the number, that blue number, representing the kind of gear level or power that denotes a basic sense of quality. So you're going to be selling or milling a lot of your gear in order to upgrade the stuff that you're using. And the cost gets exponentially more expensive for each level. And higher level or higher rarity gear can be upgraded for more times than your other stuff. And we have these skill trees that you can unlock and upgrade by spending your other resource. I think that's the blue one over there. That's unlocked by killing kind of rare enemies or sometimes as random drops. And these are used to unlock additional modifiers. There's some stuff that can give you additional damage over time effects, stronger direct damage, and again, it's all about kind of providing this kind of synergy between gear and your passives. And with that, Foregone definitely works at its basic level, but it feels like there's definitely some limitations that developers will have to look into if they want this to kind of go the long run. And we're going to talk about that next, but first a quick shout out to our current Game Wisdom supporters and sponsors. And now for a quick shout out to our current Game Wisdom supporters and sponsors. Going forward, all Patreon supporters will get early access to our videos. And if you'd like to continue this discussion on game design, be sure to check out our Discord channel, linked down below. If you're looking for more wisdom about game design, be sure to check out my latest offering of books, 20 Essential Games to Study, aimed for first-time developers and students looking for some inspiration for their upcoming games, and Game Design Deep Dive Platformers if you're interested in anything regarding 2D and 3D platforming design. They're both available in print, digital, and wherever books are being sold. The problem that Foregone has right now is that it doesn't quite get the core gameplay loop of an ARPG. Fight monsters, get gear, grow stronger. There's too much, I guess, quote unquote, downtime between major accomplishments and progress. And the linearity of the world doesn't help matters. As we play the build on stream, so much of your time spent in this game is just wandering down one linear corridor after the next. While the game does throw in elite variants of enemies, I couldn't tell if they were randomly placed or just set up at specific points in the level. But the loot itself is randomized from what we've seen. But the problem is that in order for the RPG to work, you need to always be giving the player some kind of carrot on the stick, something that they can keep aiming for and going to achieve. So much of our time playing Foregone, it felt like nothing of note was really happening. And this is another major challenge of skill or action focused games. That if you are good enough at the design or at the basic mechanics, loot doesn't mean anything to you. And we kind of ran into that problem myself. Of the entire night we spent playing the build, I think I died a total of 2 times over the span of the entire play. So I didn't really need to worry about grinding for loot or doing too much in terms of that kind of mechanic. But there's not enough here at the moment to really, I guess, force or reward the player for exploring the loot options. There's only a handful of different weapon types, and as with games of this kind, once you find your particular melee and range combo that works for you, you're not going to care about anything else. As you can see, once I got my little boomstick here, why should I care about the bow when I now really enjoy that kind of weapon? And this is again one of those issues that's also compounded by the fact that the game is so linear. I think for this game to work better, it needs to embrace more on the ARPG side. Have randomized enemies, mix things up, more gear, more variety in terms of passive elements and stuff like that. Because if this game wants to be replayable or have more sense of variety to it, it's going to need that. Because right now it just feels like your standard 2D action game, just with some very slight variations that you're not really going to notice as you play further into it. Now, there is still time to see what they do over the course of its early access. And curious to hear what you think of this game for those of you who played or watched us on the stream. But with that said, we're going to wrap things up here. I'd like to thank the developers for giving me a press key to check this one out. If you'd like me to tickle your game in the future, please don't hesitate to get in touch and come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where I examine the art and science of games. Once again, this has been Foregone, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel link down below where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.